Hi, everybody. It's really glad, it's really good to be back. I'm glad to be back. It's been a couple weeks, and it actually feels like it's been more because this January, since my last video, has been a deep freeze in Pennsylvania, in southwestern Pennsylvania. And I don't know. I just feel like I saw that my last video was like 2 weeks ago. It feels like a lot more than 2 weeks. So I'm using a microphone this time. It is a wireless microphone. I sometimes put it on my water bottle because it has a weird clip and it's heavy and it pulls, and I'm just gonna try it out. And I put some lip gloss on. This is a knitting video, but I wanted to share this with you, even though this is kind of a yucky older bottle of lip gloss. I've had this for more years than I want to admit. Many of you would probably say, throw that away, but I still have it. And I got this, I know specifically because I bought two colors. And this color is called Nectar. And I don't use it very often, but when I do, I just remind myself of how much I love it because I would not use this on a daily basis. But I used it for a lot of Zoom calls when I was working remotely, and especially during the pandemic. I just like the pop, on a Zoom call. But I got this at a little shop, like one of those little gift shops. But anyway, Gabriel. So I looked it up, and you can get this online. You can get it at places like Healthy Planet. If you just look up Gabriel lip gloss, it's there. I don't find it that it's sticky. I'm not a real prolific lip gloss wearer, but anyway, really nice for um, this is what the really nice for online meetings and stuff. Anyway, okay, I have been working on a couple things that since my last video that you haven't seen yet. And I have finished one thing, but mostly like I do have a shirt, a top here, but I've mostly been working on I just been drawn to working on accessories. And since I last saw you, tried, I did a drops yarn order. I did not order from Wool Warehouse. There are two places you can get drops online that I know of, and the feedback that I got, Linda Hobby and Wool Warehouse. The most popular by far is Wool Warehouse. I'm getting ahead of myself. I will show you my finished object, but I did a cart in Wool Warehouse for I bought 5 different types of drops yarn because I'm just experimenting the prickly factor. And then I did a cart in Linda Hobby, Linde, Linda Hobby. And when I just went all the way down to purchasing either cart, Linda Hobby was a few dollars, $4 or so cheaper because I think their drop sale was a little more, something like that. So I ordered from Linda Hobby. It did get caught up once it got to the US. This is from Denmark. They're in Denmark. It did get caught up in a warehouse somewhere in the Midwest for a while. I think that might have been because of the weather at that point. But just wanted to let you know in case you haven't ordered from Linda Hobby, since I know Wool Warehouse is the more popular. I'm going to take a drink. I'm going to share that with you. I've done lots of swatches. I love doing swatches, especially when I'm between projects or I'm just working on some accessories. I love swatches. Now, I don't do very large swatches. So this is what I mean when I say a swatch. It is not 4x4. It's 4 inches ish, but it's not 4 inches tall. So that's me. Okay, I'm also going to have Ravelry up on my iPad because I have a couple things I want to talk about in a moment. So I'm going to get that up. I hope all of you are doing well. A few weeks ago, I was at one of my local yarn stores where I like to participate in their special events that they have, usually on a Saturday. And besides the white elephant party they had around holiday time, I went to a swatch party and we all just sat around the table and there were lots of yarns that were pulled off that where Bree, the owner, needed a swatch. And we just sat there and swatched and we did proper swatches. And it took forever to do a swatch. Okay, while I was there had been a basket of this Remix Light on sale for 50% off for a long time, for months. And I kept looking at it and I kept looking at it. There was a turquoise color, like a sand oatmeal color. And there was always this red, which I'd say like it's a true red. It's called strawberry, I think, in the color name, but Berroco, you are probably aware, just uses numbers on the band. So it's color 6998. I think it's called strawberry or cherry. I'm gonna look that up while we're talking. But this Remix Light is a 3 weight. So what is that? DK Sport? It's 20 stitches and 22 rows with a, how come I can't find it? Oh, I'm sorry, scratch that. 22 stitches, 32 rows, a 5. And it is made up of, it's made in France, huh? It's 432 yards, so this has to be fingering. That's why it's called Remix Light. It's 30% nylon, 27% cotton, 24% acrylic, 10% silk, 10% linen, 9% linen. It's got everything in it. Do you see the flecks and the nubs? So it's cottony. It feels linen-like. And there's like little pieces of, I mean, you could almost call it plastic, but it's like polyester. I don't want to say it's plastic. I didn't worry about any of those things. If I came across them, it feels very cottony. I think it is a dry feeling. It's one of those, it's not a mercerized cotton, it's not a Pima cotton, it's not a round yarn. It's very linen-like, it's very dry. I like that. I'm fine with this summer weight. I was very happy to have it. $6 a skein, I guess, if it's 50% off. And so I bought 3 skeins, 6 times 3, 18 plus tax. I made a short sleeved shirt, which I'm going to show you in a second. I used 153 grams. I weighed this, it was 100 grams. So I used half of another skein, give or take, 153 grams to make a, probably what I would call a size small. And let me get the pattern. It's called the Derecho, designed by Allison Green. I found this pattern because I searched on Ravelry for using the yarn and then going to the projects made with the yarn. That sometimes to me works out really well. I'll show you a color picture of this and how you're, but it's got some texture. Does it? Yeah. It's got some texture at the like circular yoke, and you'll see it's got a split hem. Maybe you can see that. And the texture is on the sleeves. Everything about the way that the shirt tailored in, I knew that it had looked like it had decreases. So I was interested in the fact that, yes, it had actually been made from this yarn. I thought I couldn't go wrong. So it actually comes also in an ebook with other Berroco patterns, but I just bought the one. So this is what it looks like. I did the second size, which is a finished measurement of 37 inches. And I'm going to start rolling the clip that I took of myself yesterday before this was blocked. So I'll just stand up and show you, and you'll get a sense of what it looks like. I didn't do the split. It has short rows. That's why, yeah, so it sits really nice. It has short rows on the back. I did exactly what they said to do, what the pattern said to do for the little cap sleeves. And I'll start rolling the B-roll. So what I liked about this, as you'll see, is that I tried it on and I tried it on and I made sure that I was getting it to right around my waistband with the typical type of skirt or summer skirt that I'm going to be wearing, because this is how I'm going to be wearing it. I tend to wear these kinds of shirts when I'm on vacation, very specifically a scuba vacation. You're throwing this over, not, caring too much about the whole thing. Just throwing this over your swimsuit top or something. You've got a skirt on. You're in between dives, stuff like that. Or just in the summertime when you're at a picnic, you're not going to be in and out of air conditioning. I don't normally wear short sleeved if I know I'm going to be in and out of air conditioning. I wear like a really lightweight long sleeve that I can roll up, things like that. I highly recommend this pattern. It couldn't be more simple. And I didn't do the, 14 and a half inches you saw in the picture. It's longer. I did maybe 13 and a quarter. And then I did this interesting knit purl edging. It's just what it's called for. A couple of my little yarn over things are larger than others, and I might go in and correct that. Not perfect either. None of my things are perfect. And actually, I'm not striving for perfection. I'm striving for the best that it can be, and living with what I can live with. And, if I see a hole afterwards, then I'm going to go in and fill in that hole with a duplicate stitch. So and also you'll see the B-roll that I'm rolling or have rolled, that it didn't change much after blocking, other than it got softer. So it's a little crunchy. This yarn is a little crunchy, but it gets softer. It got softer as I was knitting it. So the more I had it in my hands, the more this top was around and I was working on the bottom, it got softer. And then when I washed it, I think you can machine wash it and then lay flat to dry, but I just hand washed it and laid flat to dry. It dried really quickly. I love the color. Couldn't be happier. I would use this yarn again. So I'm really into making another t-shirt like thing pretty soon, because now I'm on the train of knits like that. Okay, I still have going on my stages pullover. I'm waiting for yarn for the color work. So I showed my collar, and then I had done a little bit of color work, the orange carmine. I'm using Pearl Soho Widgeon yarn, and I'm waiting for another color of Widgeon in order to really get into that yoke. So that'll be coming probably this week, and I'll continue on that project. It's sport weight. I love the yarn. I cannot wait to dig in. So I've just been working on some accessories in the meantime. Oh, I wanted to mention, I was working on a flax DK weight sweater, Tin Can Knits. I frogged it. I got so far down. I was doing those cute stripes with wool ease recycled. The yarn was all right. I got it for $3 a skein. And I got to the sleeves. I started a sleeve, and the sleeve, even though I was doing all these like rapid decreases, was so giant, even though I followed the instructions and everything. I think I was making the second size. I've completely removed it from my Ravelry, so I don't know. Probably the second size. Frogged it. I put the rest of the yarn in a donate pile so I could donate the yarn. Done. Just wasn't happy with the giant sleeve, and then this section was, it wasn't even blocked yet, and I felt like it was too big, even though I had chosen a size that I felt wasn't that much positive ease. So it's done. Okay, what am I working on? First, I'll just come to this really simple project that's, it's not a scrappy project, but it looks kind of scrappy. I'm just wanting to use, I know, it's a little wonky. I just keep going. I just keep going on this one because I've made a couple Sophie scarves before, and I know that this wonkiness, I don't know why it's, maybe I'm just losing track of when I'm supposed to increase. Although I keep a tally on a piece of paper, I'm keeping on going because in the end, this is just going to be a cute little Sophie scarf in this perfect shade of red. So I'm not worried about this little wavy thing because it's going to be wrapped around my neck and it's going to come and tie. So I don't care. I'm just keeping on going. This is Picks Stroll, the sock yarn, fingering weight, and it feels so comfy. I have this color, which is strawberry. It couldn't be the more, I didn't even think I liked a cherry bluish red. I love an orange red. I really do. But this, I love it too. Maybe both are fine for me. I don't know. But I just wanted a really lightweight, like I love my Sophie scarf so much. It is my most worn knitted item. Now, granted, I haven't knit that much, but that Sophie scarf that's fingering weight sock yarn, it's Magpie Fibers Highline swanky sock in the color Highline. I wear it all the time. Well, not when it's like super cold out. I have another Sophie scarf that I've showed you that is thicker. It's furry, but just every day, like, I just want more of these. I'm going to be making even more. Now, this has got this here because I stopped and I'm holding this double. Oh, that's right. I stopped and I actually tried doing this single on another, like I started another one, and I don't know, I liked this double. Yeah, I'm just gonna go. I put it into two balls so I could hold it double. This is like a 50 gram, so I don't know if I'm gonna have enough to finish it, but we'll see. I'm just gonna go to a certain width and then start to decrease when I'm about halfway. So I don't think I'm there yet with these two. I wound off, so yeah, I wound off half of the skein so that I could just easily hold it double. Let me see if I have I don't think I have the tag here, but anyway, it's Stroll. I have this color, which is strawberry, and um, I have cider. So really happy with this. It's so yummy soft. I'm sure it'll just even get even softer when I'm done. So I'm just, working on that whenever I want. Then I saw this. So you may know that I am a fan of Lion Brand wool ease in different thicknesses. They just came out with the DK thickness, which I was really happy about. It's a nice bargain yarn. I also love Berroco Vintage. It was one of the first yarns that I ever used. And I was on the website because I had seen that they released the DK weight, and I was trying to find out where I could buy it. Do I have to buy it through Lion Brand? Can I get it through Joann's? They don't physically have it at my Joann's yet, but I saw this Colorwork Hat in the Lion Brand DK. It was designed for this yarn. I loved all of the colors in that hat. And I'm going to show you. I don't know if this has, yeah, I'm going to go back to the pattern page because it's got another, yeah, this was it. Here's the 4 colors, the blue, the burgundy thing, the pumpkiny, and this is peach, even though it looks pink. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 colors. I liked this one the best. The one with the burgundy-ish, which is called Cinnamon Stick, because I like what the color work turns into. I was obsessed. So Lion Brand is selling kits. When you apply all the discounts, I actually went to Joann's to get the yarn because when you bought the kit, they didn't have some of the colors. They're sold out on Lion Brand. So then I went to Joann's. I just used all kinds of coupons and discounts and whatever. And it ended up being like $3.40 a skein. And then I bought the pattern from Lion Brand. So this is the Cinnamon Stick. I hardly have any light today because it's very dull. So this is the ribbing of the hat. This is pumpkin. I'll hold these up. These are the colors that you saw in the hat. This is slate. Ooh. And lastly, this, even though it's pink, it's peach. Now on the iPhone, I can see it looks a little more peachy, but to your eye, it's pale pink. It's so interesting, but it's called peach. So there you go, $3.40 each, something like that. I bought the pattern. It's by, I think, Jennifer flynnknit. And there's also a color work sweater. That is amazing, but I'll get to that in a second. This yarn is so soft and it feels like wool. Maybe, I don't know, like superwash, but not even. Like it's got a nice smoothness, but it feels woolly. It's the same makeup as Wool Ease in that it's 20% wool and it's 80% acrylic. So I'm loving the knitting experience of this. And I got one more color because I always had my eye on this the minute I saw the Wool Ease DK. And this is called Goldenrod. And I got this because the sweater, let me see if I saved it, has the goldenrod in it. I mean, of course, I would have to buy more yarn, but I think Lion Brand has a kit, even though I wouldn't need a kit now because I'll have leftovers. But let me go to Flynn Knit and see if I can find if that was her pullover. No, I don't think it was. So let me just look. All right. So patterns in my favorites. Tons of them. Just simply tons of them since I started using Ravelry, which has been, I don't know, 8 months, 9 months. But I just wanted to share a few with you. I am now without the mic because I think the mic is dying, and so I don't want any problems. But anyway, Pearl Soho, 20% off, 25% off, maybe. That's the direction I would go since I'm loving Widgeon so much. And I know it's just a beautiful round yarn. Okay, that is amazing. It just speaks to me so much. The next one, this This is so me. When I saw it, I don't know if there's a better photo of Jen Geigley in it, but I'll just show you this one. Maybe there's more. The 1999 pullover. I love stripes. This is her take on a Gap sweater. I've been buying for decades, through the decades, Gap striped turtlenecks. I never had the crew neck, but I think she uses MDK Society yarn. And I'm telling you, when I saw this and her choice of the colors, I would match the colors as much as I possibly could. Modern Daily Knitting Atlas worsted yarn. This is a raglan. And let me see if she's got any more photos of herself. Yeah, there's some projects here where you can tell people were trying to copy the tone of the colors. This one comes really close. And she did this in Knit Picks Wool of the Andes, which is a yarn I need to sample. But I like the colors that she's chosen here. So that's really cool. You'll see a bunch of, oh, here's Jen Geigley. This is a better photo. I love this so much, so much. So yeah, high on my list. It's been high on my list. I think it'll remain there someday, hopefully. I'll get to it. Okay, what else? I'll just pick out a few more that really speak to me. Something that I'm gonna make pretty soon. I'm gonna try this. I was looking for like a fingering weight, lightweight, smaller, like shallow triangle shawl that you could just travel with for the plane, whatever, but in a lightweight fingering weight yarn. Like I can use some sock yarn that I already have. And I found the Cerulean Mist, and it's got some garter stitch and some yarn overs in that blue section. Oop, there we go. It looks like just the size I'm looking for. And this is by a local designer whose name is Kylen, Kylen, Kylen Tennies, Tennies. She goes by Yarn Over Everything on Instagram. She is a knitwear designer. She is a knitting, crocheting, multi-craft teacher. She teaches at one of the local yarn shops that I go to, Moon and Yarn Craft Room, and she teaches elsewhere. And I love her. I love her Instagram. Please check it out. I think you'll love Kylen as much as I do. I love her energy and her aesthetic and her designs. And I love a couple other things that she's made. There's a hat that is like color work. And then she's got this really cute bandana, like a besties bandana. But this one, because I'm looking for a shawl, really speaks to me. So I know this is on my list sooner rather than later. There's a bunch of colorwork sweaters now that I'm into colorwork, but I'll just show one from a designer that I am obsessed with. Beyond Caitlin Hunter, there's a couple other designers like Brienne Arlene that I just look at everything she makes and they're must-haves. She has a test knit call out right now on this beautiful sweater that I almost applied for, but I did not. But this one, take a look now. Look at this. Oh my God. It even has texture. I don't know if I would do those baubles on the body, but I love it. And here's what I love. I really like a sweater that doesn't have oversized arms. And This is something that maybe Caitlin Hunter and Brianna Arlen or Arlene have in common. I'm looking for an arm that isn't overly bulky, and here we are. Just absolute, I just love this sweater. It is called Kindred Light. I don't know if there's a Kindred, but this is called Kindred Light, and it uses a size 4 US needle. She's using Moondrake Moonspun and Spin Cycle. It doesn't look like Spin Cycle's in there, but yeah, US 2 on the ribbing and US 4. So yeah, it's on my list. I think it may be in my future at some time. And then let me show you one more. Although there are so many, but I'll just show you one more in terms of a t-shirt. I almost made this with the remix. This is not a really good picture, but I love this yarn. This is called the Noose Light, that's with a K, and they made it in Tussa Tweed Silk. Look at this. It's almost the same premise as the shirt I just made in terms of having the design in the yoke. Oh my God. I think the only thing that put me off was maybe I felt like the neckline was really wide. I don't remember now. But let me get to the actual pattern page. I would not do the design on the entire body. I would just do it in the yoke. That's just me. That's how I would like it. There's plenty of examples of both. And this is a thinner version of the noose. It's done with fingering weight yarn, US 4. This, if I didn't say, this one that I did with the remix was a US 5. So it went a little quicker. But it's a round yoke with short sleeves, and it's got 259 projects, so plenty of projects to look at. I'm learning how to save projects where I like the fit or the yarn, and I just want to remind myself, but the one that I saved with that beautiful yarn is by far my favorite, with that beautiful tweed yarn. Okay, I could go on forever. I just wanted to give you a taste of what I'm looking at. I'll just continue to do this every once in a while because I want to talk about patterns that aren't from super, super, super popular designers that have caught my eye and that I know that I want to knit at some point. All right. And lastly, I want to talk about, I have in front of me my order slip from my drops order from Lind Hobby. If you want to just skip by the acquisition, then thank you for joining me. I love it that you've come back to watch. If you have watched another video of mine, if you're subscribed, thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. If you're still here, I'll start talking about my drops order. I ordered 5 different types of yarn. I wanted to try out Drops Daisy, Charisma, Lima, Merino Extra Fine, and Brushed Alpaca Silk. Are these all 50 grams? I think so. I think this is basically how Drops does it. I will start with Drops Lima. It is a wool and alpaca blend. I hear a lot of people talking about this. This happens to be number 3609 red, and it was $3.10 a skein. This is 50 grams. And yeah, and all of these, by the way, are yarn group B, which is DK weight. I was very specifically looking for DK weight yarn in this first trial and error. And so in this one, in the Drops Lima, I did swatches, and this one, let me give you the breakdown, is 65% wool, 35% alpaca, and unfortunately, prickly for me, even after swatching. I really like the fabric that I got. This is all with the needle sizes specified. This is a size US 6. And yeah, I really like I can see why this is so popular. I really like the fabric that you get with the recommended needle. And I was within let me see, I wrote it down. Yeah, 21, I think you're gonna see that they're almost all 21 stitches across, 28 rows down. And I got around, on all of these, I got around close enough, maybe 20 and a half stitches across. I got really close to gauge. And I measured before and after, but this is going to be too prickly for me. I mean, could I make a hat out of it? Absolutely. I'm really glad I have this because there's a couple yarns that didn't work out for me that I could make a hat. I don't know why. There's something about my forehead skin that doesn't work the same as my different parts of my chest and my neck, but it would be just a fool's errand for me to think that it could sit against my chest. Now, even if I have a camisole on, which is what I wear under sweaters most of the time, the camisole, it would have to be one of those really high neck camisoles. So I'm gonna skip this one in terms of using it for a sweater. The next one is Drops Charisma, another one that's very popular. This is super wash treated. So I just thought, well, even though it looks a little rustic, it's super wash. I'm sure it'll be fine. And for me, it's prickly. It's too prickly. I don't mind feeling a certain amount of wool, but if it's too prickly and irritating, I know it's not going to work. Again, if I don't say otherwise, it's 21 stitches across, 28 down, DK weight, and it was a US 6. And this is color 50, which is called Sea Green. It was $2.75. It's really, oh wait, breakdown. Is it just wool? Let me see. Yeah, 100% wool. Lovely, absolutely lovely wool for your money. I would highly recommend if you're not sensitive or super sensitive. And yeah, really nice. So these two will be, used for stripes in a hat, gloves, something like that. They won't go to waste whatsoever. The next one is the Drops Merino Extra Fine. I did not realize this was superwash. It is. This is color number 32, Dark Rose, which is a type of red. I would call this a rosy red, a soft red. Yeah, it's coming off darker. Here we go. This is more in keeping. I love this color because it's like a rosy red, really soft. $4.20 for this Merino Extra Fine. Here's what the sample looks like. It's a little more gappy. I don't know why there's that row in the middle that looks kind of weird, but it's a little gappy. It's very silky, as you would expect. There's no itch. It's a merino, so and it's a merino with superwash, so it's very round and glossy. Again, I'll find a use for it, but it's not something that I would feel drawn to making a garment out of. It almost, I don't know, it's so glossy. It almost feels like it could be partly acrylic, but it's not. So I'm not a big fan. I love the color, but okay, here's the winner for me. I'm so happy, the Daisy. This is 100% extra fine merino without it being superwash. It's 100%. This is color 2, Marzipan. I love it. I love this color. It's like putty, I guess. It's a true off-white, creamy, off-white warm. I love it. Just love it. Dare I say, I could make the Petite Knit Sill, S-I-L-L-E, slip over with this, because I think that's a DK. and I would love using it. Yeah, no reaction. I mean, I'm going to be making a vest anyway, probably, but I love the stitch definition. It's so soft. It was $4.20, so one of the more expensive ones. So 100 grams equates to $8.40. All of these were on sale, by the way. These are sale prices. And my total for shipping was $4.99. USPS 4 to 7 day delivery, so $5 shipping. I don't know if that's the same for Wool Warehouse, but I guess it was pretty close. Yeah, this is the winner. I couldn't be thrilled. All right, one more. And this was such a winner for me. I desperately wanted to try the Drops Alpaca Silk because I have had success with an alpaca silk called Uma by Amano Yarns. This is $12.50 at my local yarn store. It's 25 grams, 230 yards. It's a blend though, which is interesting. It is 37% baby Surrey, 37% Super Kid mohair, and 26% mulberry silk. And I've used it a couple times, putting it in a scarf, and it's got like the tiny, like almost nothing. I'm just gonna call it nothing. No prickle. I can feel it, but it's not a prickle. And this is $12.50. This is number 6 coral, and it's $3.40 for 77% alpaca, 23% silk. Oh yeah, 25 grams, 153 yards. So this, I guess, even though it doesn't even look it, is thicker than the Uma. This does not look thicker to me than the Uma. It only has 153 yards. Interesting. It's so hard to tell. This is microscopically thinner than this. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm so happy. Alpaca silk. It doesn't bother me. $3.40, $12.50. I don't know. I haven't used this yet, so I don't know. I love this. This is worth the $12.50 to me. I love it. So that's that. I can't wait. I'm like just coveting this. I was going to make a Sophie scarf. I didn't know what to do. I thought that maybe I would take this and pair it with this and make a hat. This is how many yards? I don't think I'd have enough for a hat. Oh yeah, it's 109 yards. So not enough for a hat, but if I bought another one, this was $3.10. There you have it. So much fun. Is there a different weight of daisy that's called something else? I think there is. Like, is there a worsted or a fingering weight that's called Flora or something? Let me know. I know a lot of you have a lot of drops experience. Oh, I wanted to mention 2 things before I go. One, M to the third and sibling energy that's Mackenzie at M to the third. I love her YouTube channel and the sibling energy episodes she does with her friend Tim, and both amazing knitters. I love to see what they're getting up to. They're doing a sibling energy bucket list KAL. It already started, and I'm using my Stages pullover because it's going to be my first color work thing I've ever done in terms of sweater I've ever done. So that's fun. And then, so check that out. I'll have a link below. And then, I stumbled upon a YouTube episode from Nora Gaughan, Gaughan, the knitwear designer. She is having a conversation with Mary Jane Muckelstone. I'll link it below. They both used to work for Berroco. So these patterns that we find from Lion Brand and Berroco, like I just did, are from designers who become Mary Jane Muckelstone, become knitwear designers of their own, in their own right. It's amazing listening to their history, to designs that they made for Berroco, some of their early designs. It's so much fun. They're talking about each other's designs. They have them at the table. I highly recommend that. Highly recommend that. So I just wanted to mention those two things that I've been watching. Please let me know what you're up to. And if you've knit any of the things that I just mentioned in my mini pattern roundup, let me know. Please feel free to chime in about drops yarns. If there's any drops yarns that, like me, if you find you can tolerate daisy and the alpaca silk, what else can you use? If you're sensitive like me, can you use that? Is it the alpaca that people make sweaters out of because it's thicker? I forget what it's called. Can you use that? I'd like to know that. Thanks for joining me. I can't wait to see you again. And please let me know what you're getting into. I'll see you on the next one.